Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
I was actually going to go outside and walk and talk on this episode, but I realized it was rather ironic because I'd be walking and moving, and which should be fine, but I want to be with you here right now and talk about what I need to talk about with you today, which is to go softer. Go softer. We have this funny notion in our society that pushing and going really hard and giving it all, like I'm trying to think of other kind of like cheesy metaphors of just like all in, like fucking do it, do the work, like all that kind of stuff. And that's fine, it has its place, but here's something to know that in the feminine energy, which is who we are as women, yes, we have masculine side of us, just like men have a feminine side, but in that real powerful feminine is a softening, is an allowing, is a receiving, is a calm. And what I used to interpret as, perhaps this is you now, or you felt this before too, of like, oh, feminine, like that's somehow like weak and powerless and like, soft to me was like, ugh, like what? Like I just threw up in my mouth. What do you mean go softer? Like, no, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to push. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push myself so hard because who's going to push me if I don't? That used to be the story that I told myself. And it was interesting. I would have people, that would say to me like, Karen, you're so hard on yourself. And I'm like, I know what you're talking about, because I didn't have like negative self-talk in my head, and I wouldn't like say things out loud in that respect to other people. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just going to push myself hard because, again, let me push play on the old way I would say it. Rewind, push play. If I don't push myself hard, then who will? Well, you know what? Have we ever thought this? Who says we have to push hard? Who says that things cannot be accomplished with flow and calm and ease and, yes, effort? But who says we have to kill ourselves to get there? See, there's a different energy in our feminine, in that feminine energy, in that feminine flow, that if we choose to tap into it, that we can actually accomplish, we can create, we can do the things that we want to do within our life, we can take action, and it doesn't have to be that way. It's like, that's very much in the masculine, is that pushing and that, controlling and forcing, all this kind of stuff. And I know as women, our roles have gotten very, very confused. It doesn't mean that you can't go to that place. It doesn't mean you show up, at the gym, and let's say you're doing CrossFit or lifting weights, or I used to box, like you're doing that. You're like, well, I'll just kind of wait for it to come to me. Of course, there's a time and a place for stuff, but more of the time, what I found has been true for me, and what I now am seeing so much with clients, I either reflect on the past or current ones, is that this whole notion that we have to push. And by the way, it goes very much against the way that we are really wired as women. To push at that intensity, now it doesn't mean that we don't take on a lot of stuff. Listen, if you're a mother, you're just like, man, I'm a mom, like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, you don't know the shit that I got to deal with. So, we get stuff done as mothers, don't we? We got our kids to care for. We have businesses and work and our relationships and our partners and like all this other stuff. And you're just like, I got this. But I also watched my mom do that, and my mom burned herself out over and over and over again. And I remember being at a point of burnout when my kids were younger. Right now, they're almost 6 and 8.5. And I remember when they were little babies and just, no, I got this. I don't need your help. No. And just would run myself into the ground. You feel me on that, sister? That might be you right now, right? And so as opposed to thinking, well, if I just keep doing the same thing, that, by the way, didn't really get me to the best space at all. It burned me out, and it just kind of went against what I felt was the best for me, or my body was revolting against me, which, by the way, it doesn't revolt against you. It's giving you signals as to what you're doing that is not in alignment with what you need and who you are and where you need to go. That's all. Your body never fails you. You just failed listening to the signals that were being given to you. And that's still okay too. That's still part of your path and part of your journey. There's nothing to regret, feel bad about, any of that stuff. But don't ever think for a second that your body works against you. It's not. It's when we make choices that are out of alignment, we'll start to see that breakdown. But what if, sister, what if this whole notion again of like, well, I just need to keep doing the same thing. I'll just do it harder and faster and stronger and right? But yet it didn't work before. Why do we go back? Because it's familiar, right? It's what we know, quote unquote. It's what we believe is the only path and the only way. But what if there is another way? And like, spoiler alert, there is. And it's to soften, it's to allow, it's to receive. Now, it's not passive, by the way. That's not a passive way of being. But it's a way of trusting. It's a way of calm. I'm trying to explain to my kids, more so my oldest son, Tyson, he's the 8.5-year-old. And, I'm trying to really help him to see power. Now, when you're like a boy and you're that age, everything's kind of like really rough and tough and teaching Tyson about that, power is actually being calm. Oh, no, mommy. Power is people yell and scream. I go, no, that's not power. That's actually people that feel powerless. And they're actually covering it up with all that stuff. Because I used to kind of be there sometimes, right? Still felt powerful inside, but didn't understand. Like, just think for a second. Take a look at something, say, like martial artists, right? Like, say, like a Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was calm, right? Flow like water, said Bruce Lee. Like, just, there's a calmness. Look at any kind of fighting arts, whether it's, it's taekwondo or it's karate or it's boxing or it's MMA or it's kickboxing. And like, there's a calmness to the power. It's not all over the place and stuff, right? And so when we go into that masculine of like pushing and forcing and controlling and manipulating and trying to make shit happen, right? It throws us out of this balance. It takes us out of the point of calm. Now, you might still need that energy for times in your life, right? You will. And that's not like saying you can't or shouldn't or any of that stuff, that you shouldn't have that as well. We do have masculine in us as well, for sure. But a lot of us are really out of balance. I was for a long time. Didn't know it. Didn't understand the feminine energy. Didn't understand the magnetism, the charisma, the attraction of it. And I don't mean attraction from necessarily romantic or, physical appearance, sexual standpoint, all, but just like that magnetism that is part of that feminine. It's powerful. The calmness, the receiving. It's powerful. And so softening is much more of that feminine essence, not pushing, not forcing, not manipulating. So softening, soften more, relax more, calm more, breathe more, trust more. It's funny, right? It's funny how when we get so just steadfast on a certain way of being or a certain path for something that we can't see anything else, right? We just go, it's this and that's it kind of thing. So here's what I want. This is one of my favorite more tips that I love to do. And it's such a simple one. Your more tip for today is to write the words "go softer" on a post-it sticky note. Put it somewhere you're going to see it throughout the day, in your vehicle, on your bathroom mirror, on the fridge, whatever. Or simply put it as wallpaper on your phone. If you want, you can screenshot this episode and just have that as wallpaper on your phone. You're going to see if you follow me on Facebook, either my personal page or on Instagram or on the Women Watch More Facebook page. I also have an image for the podcast, and it's just the name of the podcast episode. So you could screenshot that, which is like a little golden heart. It says, go softer, like just go softer, as a reminder to slow down, to not mistake slow for less, to not mistake calm for less, or softening for less power or less results, or less, just less. I used to have this, this belief system about the feminine. It was like, oh, what is this like? Like, yeah, I want to fucking look good like any human being on the planet mostly wants to, right? But like, I'm not going to place my emphasis on who I am as a woman, on how I look. Like, I just thought feminine was that. It was girly and it was soft and with a disdain, I would say that word. And it was like passive. And I didn't understand it back then. Now I know. Now I see it. And it is so powerful. So if you're in the place that I was in of like, not with this soft thing, or I grew up with brothers, or I've been taught this way, and I get it. Me too to both those things. But just try this on for size for 24 hours. And to have this reminder with you of just to go softer, softer, softer. And just see how your day is different in this space of calm, peace, the best that you can, okay? The best that you possibly can. So, finishing up, I want to actually finish with this, talking about my Women Wanting More summer coaching program. So guess what? You've been hearing me talk about this for a while. I just accepted one other woman. So this is currently one spot left for my Women Wanting More one-on-one coaching program. And this is for women that are just like, man, I am at a crossroads. I'm at a crisis in my life right now. Like, I've been trying all these different things. Nothing's really worked. Like, I'm just stuck. I don't know what to do. And I am sick and tired of this. And I want change. And if I don't change, like, it's just going to get worse. And would really like to have one of these spots to work with me. This is the first time I've done this one-on-one coaching program at such an intensive level, where you literally have me in your back pocket 24/7. Now, of course, I sleep in that time, and I have periods of time where I'm with my kids, and I'm getting them ready for camps. It's summer right now, but like, you have me. This is why I only take on 3 women for this style of coaching. So to apply for the final spot, one spot left, like literally just as I'm recording this podcast, I just saw the notification on my phone come through of a woman that accepted, and she's made her investment. And it's like, okay, now we're ready to roll, right? Like, let's go on this. And I'm excited to work with her, like excited. So to apply for the final spot, here's what you need to do. Email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com. Okay. drkarenosburn@gmail.com. And just say, I would like to apply, and I will send you further instructions from there, sister. So email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com. And like, this is your time. If you've been wanting to coach with me, there's one spot that's left. And I'll just like straight up, this is not marketing sales shit. I have 2 women I'm getting on the phone with tomorrow. One who's following up with me. That could be that 3rd spot. So it's going to go fast. So you got to get on it. drkarenosburn@gmail.com. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you going softer every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.